Flight delays hit record levels in 2026, with over 2.3 million passengers affected in the first quarter alone. Airlines owe billions in compensation that most travelers don't even know they're entitled to. We're talking about cash payments up to $1,550 per passenger, mandatory hotel accommodations, meal vouchers, and rebooking rights that airlines actively hide from you. The most shocking part? Over 73% of eligible passengers never claim what they're legally owed because they simply don't know their rights. Airlines count on your ignorance to save billions annually. Let's break down your exact legal rights when flights are delayed in 2026, so you can get every dollar you deserve. Domestic U.S. flights, DOT regulations. U.S. Department of Transportation regulations for domestic flights are weaker than international protections, but you still have enforceable rights that airlines must honor. For delays over 3 hours on the tarmac, airlines must allow you to deplane. This is federal law. If an aircraft sits on the tarmac for more than 3 hours, domestic or 4 hours international, the airline faces fines of $37,500 per passenger. They must provide water, food, working lavatories, and medical attention during tarmac delays exceeding 2 hours. However, U.S. regulations don't require airlines to compensate you for most delays. If your flight is delayed due to weather, air traffic control, or other factors outside the airline's control, you're entitled to rebooking on the next available flight, but not cash compensation. Here's where it gets important. If the delay is the airline's fault, mechanical issues, crew scheduling problems, or operational failures, you have stronger rights. Airlines must rebook you at no additional cost on the next available flight, including on partner or competitor airlines if their next flight is significantly later. For significant delays causing you to miss connections, airlines must provide hotel accommodations if you're stranded overnight due to their operational failures. Significant typically means delays of 3 hours or more, but this varies by airline policy. Weather-related delays don't trigger hotel obligations. Meal vouchers should be provided for delays exceeding 3 hours due to airline-caused issues. Voucher amounts vary by airline, but typically range from $12 to $25 for delays of 3 to 6 hours and $25 to $50 for longer delays. If your flight is cancelled, you're entitled to a full refund to your original payment method, regardless of ticket type, if you choose not to travel. This is a 2024 DOT rule change that's critical. Previously, many tickets were non-refundable even for cancellations. Now, if the airline cancels your flight, you can demand a cash refund within 7 days for credit card purchases or 20 days for other payment methods. Real case from February 2026. A passenger Chicago to Miami flight was delayed 6 hours due to mechanical issues. The airline offered rebooking, but no hotel or meals. The passenger demanded both based on the delay being operational, not weather-related. After filing a DOT complaint, the airline provided $75 in meal vouchers retroactively, plus a $200 travel credit for the inconvenience. EU Regulation 261/2004, the gold standard. EU 261 provides the strongest passenger protections globally. It applies to any flight departing from an EU airport regardless of airline, or arriving at an EU airport on an EU-based airline. If you're flying from London to New York on any airline, or New York to London on British Airways, you're covered. The compensation structure is based on flight distance and delay duration. Flights under 1,500 kilometers delayed 3+ hours, €250, $270. Flights 1,500 to 3,500 kilometers delayed 3+ hours, €400, $435. Flights over 3,500 kilometers delayed 3 to 4 hours, €300, $325. Flights over 3,500 kilometers delayed 4+ hours, €600, $650. These are cash payments, not vouchers. Airlines must pay within 7 days of a valid claim. You can refuse travel vouchers and demand cash. Critical exceptions exist. If the delay was caused by extraordinary circumstances, severe weather, political instability, security threats, air traffic control strikes, airlines aren't required to pay compensation. However, they must still provide meals, refreshments, hotel accommodations, and rebooking. Airlines frequently claim extraordinary circumstances when they don't apply. A mechanical issue is not extraordinary, it's the airline's responsibility to maintain aircraft. Crew shortages from poor scheduling aren't extraordinary. Bird strikes, severe storms, and volcanic ash are extraordinary. Here's what most travelers don't know. You're entitled to care immediately, even if the airline claims extraordinary circumstances. For delays of 2 hours or more, flights under 1,500 kilometers, 3 hours or more, flights 1,500 to 3,500 kilometers, or 4 hours or more, flights over 3,500 kilometers, airlines must provide meals and refreshments proportional to waiting time. 2. Phone calls, emails, or faxes. Hotel accommodation, if overnight stay is required. Transport between airport and hotel. If the airline doesn't provide these, you can arrange them yourself and claim reimbursement. Keep all receipts. Reasonable expenses are covered. A $400 hotel room and $150 dinner aren't reasonable, but a $120 hotel and $50 in meals are. Real case from March 2026. A family of 4 flying from Paris to New York faced a 9-hour delay due to crew unavailability. The airline offered rebooking but claimed no compensation was owed. The family filed an EU 261 claim for €2,400 total, €600 per person for a flight over 3,500 kilometers delayed 4+ hours. The airline initially denied, citing operational issues. After the family escalated to the French Civil Aviation Authority, the airline paid the full €2,400 within 30 days. UK regulation, post-Brexit changes. The UK maintained EU 261 protections after Brexit with slight modifications. Flights departing UK airports or arriving in the UK on UK-based airlines are covered under UK 261, which mirrors EU 261 compensation amounts. The key difference: UK and EU regulations now operate separately. A flight from London to Paris is covered by UK 261. A flight from Paris to London is covered by EU 261. Both provide identical passenger protections. One advantage: you can claim under both UK and EU regulations if technically eligible, though you can only receive compensation once. File wherever processing is faster. Canadian Air Passenger Protection Regulations. Canada's APPR came into effect in 2019 and was strengthened in 2022. It applies to flights to, from, and within Canada on any airline. Compensation for delays and cancellations within airline control. Arrival delay 3 to 6 hours, $400 Canadian, $295 US. Arrival delay 6 to 9 hours, $700 Canadian, $515 US. Arrival delay 9+ hours, 1,000 Canadian dollars, $735 US. For delays within airline control but required for safety, like mechanical issues, compensation is reduced by 50%. Airlines must prove the safety justification. For delays outside airline control, weather, air traffic control, security threats, no compensation is required, but airlines must still provide meals after 2 hours, hotel accommodations for overnight delays, and rebooking. Large airlines, those that transported 2 million passengers in each of the 2 preceding years, must also rebook you on partner airlines if their next available flight is more than 9 hours after original departure. Real case from January 2026. A passenger's Toronto to Vancouver flight was delayed 11 hours due to a mechanical issue discovered during boarding. WestJet claimed it was safety-related and offered $500 Canadian. The passenger filed a complaint with the Canadian Transportation Agency, arguing the mechanical failure resulted from inadequate maintenance, not a sudden safety discovery. The CTA agreed and ordered WestJet to pay the full $1,000 Canadian. Denied boarding, bumping rights. Overselling flights is legal, but compensation for denied boarding is mandatory when you're bumped involuntarily. U.S. domestic flights. If you're bumped and reach your destination 1 to 2 hours late, you're owed 200% of your one-way fare up to $775. If you arrive 2+ hours late, you're owed 400% up to $1,550. Airlines must pay in cash, check, or electronic transfer, not just vouchers, if you request it. EU/UK flights. Denied boarding compensation mirrors delay compensation, 250 to 600 euros based on distance, plus rebooking on the next available flight or full refund if you choose not to travel. Canada. Denied boarding compensation ranges from $900 Canadian to $2,400 Canadian depending on delay length and airline size. Critical point. This applies only to involuntary denied boarding. If you volunteer to take a later flight in exchange for compensation, you're accepting whatever the airline offers, which is often less than involuntary compensation. Airlines must ask for volunteers before bumping anyone involuntarily. If you're bumped, without the airline first requesting volunteers, document this. It strengthens your compensation claim. Real case from April 2026. A passenger was bumped from an overbooked United flight from Newark to Los Angeles. United asked for volunteers offering $400 vouchers. When no one volunteered, they bumped the passenger involuntarily. The passenger arrived 5 hours late. United offered a $500 voucher. The passenger demanded the legal $1,550 cash payment for arrival 2+ hours late. United complied within 2 weeks. Lost or delayed baggage. For domestic U.S. flights, airlines are liable for up to $3,800 per passenger for lost, damaged, or delayed baggage. You must file a claim within 24 hours of discovering damage or delay. For international flights under the Montreal Convention, airlines are liable for approximately 1,288 special drawing rights, about $1,780 per passenger, unless you declared higher value and paid additional fees. If your baggage is delayed, airlines must reimburse you for reasonable interim expenses, toiletries, clothing, medications. Keep receipts. Reasonable means basic necessities, not designer wardrobes. For lost baggage, airlines must compensate based on depreciated value of contents, not replacement cost. A 5-year-old laptop isn't worth its original price. File written claims immediately. Verbal complaints don't create paper trails. Take photos of damaged bags. List all missing items with estimated values. How to actually claim compensation. Most airlines make claiming intentionally difficult. Here's the process. 1. Document everything immediately. Take photos of departure boards showing delays. Screenshot airline apps showing cancellation notifications. Save all boarding passes and receipts. 2. Request written confirmation of the delay reason from airline staff. If they claim weather, get it in writing. If they refuse, note the employee's name and time of request. 3. File claims in writing within regulatory timeframes. EU 261 claims must be filed within specific timeframes that vary by country, typically 1 to 3 years. US DOT complaints can be filed anytime, but are most effective within 30 days. Canadian APPR claims must be filed within 1 year. 4. Be specific in claims. State the regulation violated, the compensation amount owed, and include all documentation. Generic complaints get generic responses. 5. Escalate denials to regulatory authorities. Airlines deny many legitimate claims hoping you'll give up. U.S. passengers file DOT complaints at aviation.gov. EU passengers contact the Civil Aviation Authority of the departure country. UK passengers use the CAA. Canadian passengers file with the Canadian Transportation Agency. Real case from February 2026. A passenger's Lufthansa flight from Frankfurt to Boston was delayed 7 hours due to crew scheduling issues. Lufthansa denied EU 261 compensation, claiming extraordinary circumstances. The passenger filed a complaint with Germany's Luftfahrtbundesamt, LBA, with documentation showing the delay was operational. The LBA ordered Lufthansa to pay €600 within 21 days. Lufthansa complied. Third-party claim services. Companies like AirHelp, Claim Compass, and Flight Delayed charge 25 to 35% commission to file claims on your behalf. They handle the paperwork and escalation, but take a significant cut. Pros. They know the regulations, handle airline pushback, and only charge if successful. Cons. You lose 25 to 35% of your compensation for work you could do yourself. Use these services for complex international claims or if airlines are stonewalling you. For straightforward claims, file yourself and keep 100% common airline tactics to deny compensation. Airlines use predictable strategies to avoid paying, claiming weather when delays were operational. Weather affects all airlines equally. If only your airline delayed flights while others operated normally, it wasn't weather. Offering vouchers instead of cash. Regulations require cash for most situations. You can refuse vouchers and demand cash. Creating bureaucratic hurdles. Airlines request excessive documentation, hoping you'll give up. Provide reasonable documentation and escalate if they demand more, ignoring claims hoping you'll forget. Follow up every 14 days. Escalate to regulators after 30 days of non-response. Claiming extraordinary circumstances without proof. Demand specific explanation and documentation. Special situations. Connecting flights. If you miss a connection due to the first flight's delay and both are on one ticket, the airline must rebook you, and you may qualify for compensation if the total delay meets thresholds. Separate tickets. If you booked flights separately and missed the second due to the first's delay, you're likely not protected. The second airline has no obligation to rebook you. Basic economy tickets. Compensation rights apply equally to all fare classes. Airlines can't deny compensation because you bought the cheapest ticket. Award tickets. Free. Flights using miles still qualify for delay compensation under EU 261, UK 261, and APPR. Your action plan. When facing delays or cancellations, 1. Ask airline staff for meal vouchers, hotel accommodations, or rebooking immediately. Don't assume they'll offer. 2. If denied, arrange necessities yourself and keep receipts. Claim reimbursement later. 3. Document everything. Photos, screenshots, written confirmations. 4. File written compensation claims within days, not weeks. Include flight numbers, dates, delay duration, reason given, and regulation applicable. 5. If denied, escalate to regulatory authorities immediately. Don't accept initial denials as final. Airlines deny compensation to 60 to 70% of eligible passengers on first claim. Persistence matters. Most denials are overturned upon escalation. Flight delay compensation in 2026 ranges from $270 to $1,550 per passenger depending on location, distance, and delay duration. Airlines owe billions in unpaid compensation because most passengers don't know their rights or don't bother claiming. The key regulations. EU 261 and UK 261 provide the strongest protections with mandatory cash compensation. Canadian APPR offers solid protections. US DOT regulations are weaker, but still provide refund rights and rebooking obligations. Your legal rights exist whether airlines advertise them or not. Delays over 3 hours, cancellations, denied boarding, and lost baggage all trigger specific compensation obligations. Document everything, file written claims, and escalate denials to regulatory authorities. Have you successfully claimed flight delay compensation? Share your experience in the comments. If this guide empowered you to claim what you're owed, hit that like button and subscribe for more travel rights guides. We expose the tricks airlines use to avoid paying and show you exactly how to fight back. Hit the notification bell for weekly uploads on passenger rights, travel hacks, and how to navigate airlines like a pro. Thanks for watching, and remember, airlines count on your ignorance. Don't let them win.